Hello, welcome to my podcast. I'm Robert Serocki Jr., and today we're going to talk about proper nutrition for healing post-traumatic stress. And it's probably the easiest, best thing that anybody could do for themselves, not only for healing post-traumatic stress, but your overall health and well-being. And so we're just going to talk about basically supporting your mental health through one's dietary choices. And obviously, while therapy and medication are commonly recommended treatments, proper nutrition also plays a very crucial role in managing and healing post-traumatic stress. And we're going to kind of explore how these dietary choices can support your mental health and also aid in the recovery process if you are in fact suffering from post-traumatic stress, such as I did. So the connection between nutrition and mental health is that nutrients from the food provide the basic building blocks for your neurotransmitters, which are the chemicals in the brain that regulate one's mood, cognition, and behavior. So your mental health and your nutrition are very closely intertwined. And basically, a balanced diet can help stabilize your mood and reduce the anxiety and improve your overall mental health as well as your overall physical health. And you can't have good physical health without good mental health. So some of the key nutrients for healing post-traumatic stress that are particularly beneficial include things like omega-3 fatty acids. Those are found in fatty fish, which are like Chilean sea bass and halibut, which are two of my favorites. They can be a little more expensive, but they're extremely nutritious for you. There's also things like salmon, mackerel, tuna, sardines, herring, those sorts of things. Flax seeds are good. Walnuts are good. Another thing that's good is olive oil. So I use extra virgin olive oil that's organic, and every morning when I get up on an empty stomach, I take 2 tablespoons and just swallow it. Some experts and health professionals say, or if you go to Greece or Italy, they say you need 1/4 of a cup. Other health professionals say 2 tablespoons is fine. Others say you only need 2 teaspoons. So it's kind of a preference thing. I sort of gathered, and I've tried the 1/4 cup. It was just too much oil for me. And I've tried 3 tablespoons. I think 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. So I tried 3. That still seemed like a little too much. So I stuck with 2. 2 seems to work with me, so that's what I do. And one of the things that they do is that they help reduce the inflammation in your body, and they also promote your brain health. Obviously, your brain has something to do with your mental health, and inflammation has something to do with your mental health, as well as a lot of the other major diseases that we as humans have or can get, such as cancer, diabetes, heart disease. Those things, they're all caused primarily by inflammation in the body. And eating right can reduce that. Obviously the omega-3 fatty acids are going to improve your mood, and they're going to decrease your symptoms of depression. It helped me a great deal, and I still do it today. I've been doing it for years. Magnesium is another great thing, and that's present in leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains. Magnesium is essential for your nervous system functioning, and it helps reduce your anxiety and improve sleep through the functioning of your nervous system. Now, I love leafy greens. I have a garden. Basically, I've turned my whole backyard into a garden, so I grow a lot of leafy greens, and you cannot find a better tasting leafy green in any store anywhere than what one could grow in their garden. It's amazing. People try. I share my stuff all the time with neighbors and stuff. They love it. They can't believe how good it tastes and how much more flavor there is to it than anything you can buy in the store, even organic. When I lived in an apartment and I didn't have a backyard, I just grew them in pots. It worked fine, and put them on the patio. If say certain times of the year I don't have any leafy greens, obviously I buy them, but I buy organic ones. They're better than the regular ones, and there's less, toxins in them. So one of the things I do with the greens I grow, because I also grow, radishes and beets, and I don't waste those greens. I take those and I blanch them in hot water for about 2 minutes, and then I throw them in ice water. And then I sort of pat them dry, and I vacuum seal those. And I do that throughout my growing season so that during the year when I can't grow leafy greens, I still have them. They are just blanched. And then, you heat them up. They kind of come out like spinach a little bit, which is fine. You can throw them in soups. You can throw them in stir fries. You can make creamed spinach out of it, which I like to do, and it comes out fantastic. You can mix them with Alfredo sauce if you're having some good organic whole grain pasta, something like that. Another thing is vitamin D, very important. We get our vitamin D from the sunlight. Not everybody has a lot of sunlight depending on where you live, so it's also in fortified foods, say like milk. I drink a glass of milk every day, about a 10-ounce glass. I'm lactose intolerant, so I get the one with lactase in it so I can digest it. And I always buy the one that's got full fat, because once you remove the fat, you remove a lot of the nutrients. It's also in fatty fish. So like I said, the salmon, the halibut, Chilean sea bass. The Chilean sea bass and the halibut have the highest amount of vitamin D by far than any other fish. And salmon is good, but the Chilean sea bass has something like 800% or 1,000% of your vitamin D. Some crazy number like that. And it's excellent. I love it. It can be a little bit more expensive. But again, if it's $30 a pound, and I'm just throwing numbers out here, you don't need a pound of it. You only need, say, 6 ounces. That's a little less than half a pound. So it's manageable. But salmon is good too. I like salmon. I buy that. Do different things with it. And vitamin D is crucial for your mental health, obviously. It helps with, your brain and things like that too. It's also crucial in the prevention of certain diseases. And deficiencies that are linked, or I should say deficiency in vitamin D is linked to increased risk of depression and anxiety. So again, another good thing you can do for yourself. Antioxidants. So fruits and vegetables that are rich in antioxidants, such as, say, berries, such as spinach, greens again, and carrots. Those are some basic things. There's other things out there, obviously. Any like fruit, vegetable, and leafy greens are packed with antioxidants. They protect your brain from oxidative stress and support overall mental well-being. I mean, even coffee. If you're not taking caffeine or whatever, then fine. But coffee has antioxidants in it. Green tea has antioxidants in it. So does the olive oil I take every day. I also in the morning, squeeze a lemon wedge into a 10-ounce glass, fill it with water, and I warm it up and I slam that. That has antioxidants in it. Another good thing to ingest is probiotics, and those are found in fermented foods like yogurt or kefir or sauerkraut, things like that. Kimchi. So probiotics basically promote gut health, and that is closely connected to one's mental health through what they call the gut-brain axis. And if I remember correctly, what that is I believe I'd have to go back and look it up again, but I believe there's nerves that go from your gut, which basically your intestines, and it goes up to your brain. And I believe it goes along your spine somewhere, or somewhere around there. Like I said, I don't remember exactly. I have to read more on that. But that's why they say that, in the prevention of all these major diseases like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, it starts with inflammation, and it has to do with that axis. And so by taking care of your gut health, you're promoting your overall physical and mental health in nutritious ways. So There are foods I want to go over that you can incorporate for post-traumatic stress healing. And we talked about some of these, like the fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, sardines, um, Chilean sea bass, halibut. Any of those things are great. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, which those three are very high in magnesium and antioxidants that support your overall brain health. I grow all three of those in my garden. The Swiss chard is fantastic. I love it. Whole grains such as, say, brown rice, quinoa, oats. I like to buy what they call ancient grains, and comes in a bag, kind of cook it like rice, and they're fantastic and packed with nutrition. And basically those provide you with complex carbohydrates which stabilize your blood sugar levels and help to provide the body with sustained energy. Berries, so blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, they're packed with antioxidants that protect your brain from oxidative stress, and we sort of went over other things that do that as well. Berries, like the strawberries and raspberries and stuff, and those things with the seeds in it, I have a hard time with because I have a lot of fillings. So what I like to do with those is put them into a blender and put some milk in there and sort of make a smoothie. And you can dump even some, Greek yogurt in there and all that stuff too. And that leads to the fermented foods like yogurt. I love Greek yogurt. Kimchi's great. Sometimes I even make my own. Miso, sauerkraut. Any of those things are going to boost your gut health and in turn your mental health. Now, just as there are certain foods to incorporate, there are also ones that people should avoid, especially if you're dealing with post-traumatic stress, and because they have negative effects on you and your mental health, so as well as your physical health. So processed foods, which is a kind of a no-brainer, they're high in unhealthy fats and sugars and additives, and they're processed, so they can exacerbate the inflammation in your body and hence negatively impacting your mood. Alcohol. I know it may provide you with some relief at first, but when the effects wear off, your anxiety is going to come back, your panic's going to come back, and it comes back twice as bad. And I know, because when I was first dealing with the post-traumatic stress, I was trying to cope by using alcohol, and that's exactly what happened to me. I mean, I didn't know what was going on at the time, but it made the anxiety 10 times worse. And that goes for anything else too, like marijuana or any of these other drugs that you may be taking. Really, in reality, what you're doing is you're masking the problem. You're not solving it. You're not dealing with it. So when it does come back, it comes back worse than what it was, because you're not dealing with it. And that's what happens. So when I had the post-traumatic stress, I quit drinking, I think, for a year. I didn't have any alcohol or anything like that. I have it now, but it's basically just wine or something, and I usually have that with food, with dinner or something, and it doesn't bother me now. Another thing is caffeine. So excessive caffeine intake can increase the anxiety and disrupt your sleep, and both of which obviously are detrimental to healing your post-traumatic stress. For me, I couldn't have any caffeine. Some people can. I couldn't have any while I was trying to heal. It just made the panic and the nervousness 10 times worse. So I also quit coffee for an entire year. I drink it now, and it doesn't bother me at all unless it's too strong, and then I'll get really nervous. But I make it the way I like it and have a couple cups a day, and I'm fine. And coffee actually has antioxidants in it that are good for you. And lastly, sugary foods. Obviously, foods that are high in sugar can, cause your blood sugar to spike, and then once it spikes, it crashes. So it's like a whiplash kind of deal here, and that obviously leads to mood swings and increased anxiety. One of the things that I used to do is I always carried a banana with me, or a peanut butter sandwich, something that doesn't spoil during the day. And if my blood sugar dropped, I would know, because I'd get a panic attack, I'd get nervous, jittery. I'd just eat the banana or the peanut butter sandwich and give it about 15 minutes, and then I'd feel better. So that was just one of the things I used to do. I don't have to do that anymore. The other thing that I did that worked really well for me was I just started eating smaller meals, about the size of the palm of my hand, that were very nutritious, every 3 hours. So I was eating like 4 times a day. And at first, I was kind of hungry doing that, but once I'd been doing it for a little while, things sort of leveled out. And every time I ate every 3 hours, I was never even hungry. So it really stabled my blood sugar and prevented me from having panic attacks and getting nervous from blood sugar spikes and crashes. The other nice thing that it did is it helped me lose weight eating like that. So I had extra weight from the cortisol in my body and the medication and stuff that I was on because it slowed me down. Some additional tips for healing through nutrition. So sort of beyond the specific foods that we talked about, certain practices can enhance the benefits of a nutritious diet when you're trying to heal your post-traumatic stress. So number one, kind of obvious, stay hydrated. There's all different kinds of theories on there about how much water you should drink: 64 ounces, a gallon, 113 ounces for men, and 85 for women, whatever they say. I just go what feels good with me. I always carry water with me wherever I go. I try to make sure I drink it every day, and I don't necessarily keep track of the exact ounces that I drink. I did when I was dealing with the post-traumatic stress. Now I don't. I just drink what makes me feel comfortable. And like I said, every morning I get up, a 10-ounce glass, a squirt of lemon in there, fill it with water, and I slam that. And that's kind of how I start my day, with the olive oil. And then I drink water throughout the day, and other things, coffee and stuff like that too, or tea sometimes. Eat regularly. We just talked about that, how I was eating every 3 hours. I mean, that you don't have to necessarily do that. Just make sure you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of thing, because that maintaining those regular meal times helps keep your blood sugar level stable and provides consistent energy, like it did with me when I was eating smaller meals every 3 hours. Most of the time I was never even hungry. And then something that I like to call mindful eating, which is basically paying attention to what and how you eat. And that also can improve digestion and increase the enjoyment of your food, as well as what we just talked about. And always, if it suits you, you can consult a professional. So, you can work with a nutritionist or a dietitian, and they can provide you with a more personalized guidance, I guess, and support in making these dietary changes. But a lot of the stuff is easy to do. It's just common sense. It's just eating the right things and nutritious things. So in conclusion, I just want to say that, proper nutrition is a very powerful tool in helping to heal post-traumatic stress. And so by incorporating these nutrient-rich foods and avoiding the ones that can have a negative impact on you, you can support your recovery and improve your overall well-being. Like I said, that's a sort of a side benefit here is, it helps with the post-traumatic stress, but it also helps improve your physical health. And who doesn't want that? And while nutrition alone, it's not a cure, but it is an essential component of a holistic approach to managing and healing the post-traumatic stress. And we talked about holistic approaches in my last video when we were talking about healing post-traumatic stress path to recovery. And these are things that you as an individual can do in conjunction with whatever you're doing with your doctor or your mental health professional. And with that, I'd just like to say all the diet and the nutrition and all the stuff I talk about in much greater detail in my book, The Sword and the Anvil. I also go over the alcohol and the marijuana, medication, all those sorts of things in there. There's a lot of detail in there. Did a lot of research. You can find that on my website, robertserockijr.com, with the rest of my books. And you can purchase my books from my website, or if you feel more comfortable, there are links there to Amazon and Barnes & Noble, where my books are also located, and you just click on it, it'll take you right to those sites and you can purchase them there. There's also a lot of other information on my website that you can access for free that is very beneficial. A lot of good content and information that you can look up, read, and use. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video or the podcast. And please leave a comment down below. I like to get those. I always answer those. If you would like to comment more discreetly, you can go to my website, robertserockijr.com. You go to my contact page, and you can personally email me there. And having said that, let's go out and have a great day, and I will see you next time. I'm out.